Wike. And by the time they get to River State, a lot has happened. So if after tomorrow, Fubara succeeds in legitimizing his own men, that's it. Wike would have to actually find his way, not out of River State, but out of Nigeria, because something is going to happen afterward. Most of those who are kind of praising him, those who are singing his praises, licking his butt crack, his ass, and the rest of them, right? They will begin to see their losses, that they are actually going to be the grass that will suffer between these Fubara and then Wike. But let's leave them for now and wait for tomorrow. I'll take a short break. I'll be back in a minute.
Jay, help us, help us. There is God, there is God, 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 God. God should descend, today God will descend here. Nigerian women.
God will descend here. Talking about the situation of Nigeria, as we have seen that APC, they are, especially the one that is now being led by Tinubu. You hear me? Please let me know if the sound is still all right. If the sound is acting up, let me know before I continue. Here is Mr. Udenta, who is reacting to what the state of Nigeria is now, where Tinubu and his gang continue to cook up so what is called the propaganda, something that is only relevant and useful if you are campaigning for an election where a supposed government that knows that if your policy are not really kind of impacting positively on the lives of the people, you don't use propaganda to tell them that they are the ones who don't understand, or they should wait, or be patient, as they've been putting it. I'll come back to Mr. Udenta. Let me first start with Mr. Bugaje, a PDP scribe, on top of Tinubu's recent lies called the independence speech. Now come to Udenta.
That worries me a lot, because they think that anything other than this serious stuff is none of their business, and that worries me. But it brings me to a point, Dr. Bugaje, the president's speech on democracy. He mentioned and he touched on quite a few things. Issue of how to galvanize the Nigerian people, the need for unity. How do you assess President Tinubu's speech on the 1st of December?
The first thing is that that is not a speech. It's empty. The words are completely empty. How many times has he said that?
It went below your standard?
It's not even a standard at all. There are issues that worry people. He's supposed to speak about food security. That is what happens. He's supposed to tell us what he has done about food security.
He said that. He said that our farmers are going back to farm.
Which is not true.
He said that.
Which is not true.
We're going to wrap up
which is not true.
production.
Which is not true. Has he spoken about the climate change that has wiped away whatever little gains we have done? Look at Maiduguri, look at Kebbi, look at Ibadan, look at so many other places, the flood. He doesn't even know what is happening in the country from the speech. Because if he did, he would have known that what is most important are the issues of food and the issues of security and the issues of the economy. You just mentioned it. The purchasing power has been completely destroyed. I mean, people who could use their earnings to buy food, they cannot do so now. Naira has basically no value at the moment. So these are the issues that he should be addressing. The fact that he acknowledges that citizens are going through very tough times, he doesn't realize that one, he has been elected not to acknowledge our suffering, but to fix it. And when he speaks to us, he should be speaking about how does he fix the problem. And then he does not live as if he knew that these things are happening. He's buying a new jet. He's traveling all over the place. His family members are doing all sorts of things. Is this the way to really empathize with citizens who cannot eat, who cannot sleep, who cannot go back to school, who cannot go to the hospitals? This is what is happening in this country.
Just in about 40 seconds or thereabout, because we need to close. Your final thought on the program. I don't know when next I'm going to be able to grab you and get you into the studio. For the rest of over 200 million people of this country and millions of those of them who are watching, who have fortunate to have power, or who are able to charge their phone and watching on their devices right now, what kind of hope can we garner as a people? And what should we be doing by this time next year when we talk about another Independence Day? How do we survive? How do we stand as a people for the sake of our country? Our country is that precipice that we need to salvage it, isn't it?
The few of us that are still able to breathe in this suffocating environment have a responsibility to rescue our country. And what we need to do is to come together, form networks, and see how we can address the question of leadership. Because everything that is happening to us, if you reduce everything to what it is, it comes to leadership. And it is this leadership that we need to focus upon. Yeah. We need to develop a criteria. You cannot be a president until you have certain things. Look at Singapore. Recently, there were about 4 people, and they run this criteria over and over again until they came out with someone who fit the criteria. They are not throwing away the others because they have some kind of collegial leadership. Anybody else would still be useful in a particular. Yeah. So I think
if we reduce the purchasing power of the people, we can further slow down the economy. Let's widen the tax net. Those who are not paying now, if it is inclusive of Bola Tinubu, let the nets get bigger and we take in more taxes, and that is what we must do in the...
Fellow Nigerians, this is just the beginning.
This is just the beginning. Mr. Udenta, please add your own to this as well. It's so similar to on the lies that the man that was supposed to be honest enough. I found that, I kind of find that a little bit insulting though, when people says that they expect Tinubu to be honest, or they were surprised that he lied to 200 million people. I find it a little bit insulting. Like how do you expect a man that whose life and everything about him is a lie? His age is a lie. His birth is a lie. His work life is a lie. His political life is a lie. Everything about Tinubu is a lie. Even Nigeria is a lie. Speak on, sir.
If you take a few of the items there, 30 trillion already completely paid off. The Ways and Means loan. That is not true. A barrister, Victor Pato, I have to put his name out there because his matter is in public, took CBN to court. What they did is what is called securitarization, to securitize that loan. A federal government loan was now transformed into Nigerian sovereign debt. A debt that nobody borrowed on behalf of the name of the subnationals, and everybody in Nigeria now has a 40-year tenure that everybody, including me and you and our children, even grandchildren, may be compelled to pay. And a loan that National Assembly never knew when it was taken, never knew what it was done for, and all those involved have not even been criminally charged for it. So the 30 trillion Ways and Means loans are still there. They just converted it in a nomenclature change and variation. That is number one. Number two, there's another potent matter that was not even raised. Look at the Heritage Bank. You guys can equally fact check me. The bank collapsed 4 months ago in an unpredictable manner. Even when a month prior to that, CBN had already assured that the banking sector was robust and all the banks were heavy. For 4 months now, no depositor has ever collected a kobo, in spite of all the noise in the public space by CBN and NDIC. So when they have depositors who are hurting and haven't collected the money, running to billions across board, and directors of those banks have fled into oblivion, not accounted, no one of them being held accountable. That speech of Mr. President should have ensured to bring that into mainstream focus, because that speaks to the health of the economy, health of the financial sector, health of the banking subsector within that broad finance. Democracy is under grave threat. I did say some time ago, I think in this platform, democracy these days don't fall because bullets are fired or guns are loaded and then released. It dies because those who take power using democratic means undermine the foundations of democratic governance. This current government is undermining daily, one, multi-party democracy by planting poisonings within the ranks of the opposition parties in PDP, in Labour, and maybe to an extent in NMPP. The idea is to dissolve the coherence of the opposition parties and render the 2027 election prostrate, almost like the outcome is known beforehand. A leisurely re-entry back into power because it paralyzes the ability of those other parties to grow. The Rivers example is very clear. What happened early on in Rivers State is shocking a democratic system. And everybody involved in that operation, that dark operation, must be held accountable, from the smallest policeman at the precinct to the highest level of that force. The second is that if you have the political parties running from pillar to post because of the impact of poisonings, and for the name poisoning, please go to the Second World War and find out where this term comes from. It's a Second World War term. I will not say on stage here, but go there and dig into it and find why these poisonings in the PDP and Labour Party must be routed for democracy to endure in Nigeria. Look at civic spaces. They are shrinking. Look at those things detained and classified as terrorists and terrorist financiers and treasonable felons for merely protesting. Is to create a condition of chill and apprehension and trepidation among the people and ensure that they do not raise their voice to protest. Labour, as an organized sector, for me, is still reeling from the impact of the savage war declared on the president of that NLC by the security and coercive apparatus of the state. The list goes on and on. That means that if we are not careful and summon the will of the founding fathers and mothers of this country, we don't summon the skills set of those who battle military despotism in order to confront the element of national dissent, not even into liberalism or authoritarianism. There's a creeping totalitarian mindset among this government today, and that must be resisted by all Democrats for this country's democracy to thrive.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. In a nutshell, simply put, what Mr. Odenta was telling you is that you may be deceiving yourselves that you have democracy, but you do not have anything called democracy. What Tinubu and his gang have done is to make sure that, number one, the supposed civil space where you can have viable opposition that can actually challenge the government, challenge them on every of their action, and make them believe that they have people they have to be responsive to. Okay? All this civil space has become so shrunk that they have infiltrated PDP, infiltrated APC, infiltrated Labour, infiltrated NLC, weakening all of them, to the point that they can do whatever they like, whenever they like, say whatever they can say, and they do not expect any resistance from anybody. And what that simply means is that you do not have a country anymore. You have a place where criminals have hijacked the whole place, and whatever you see, or whatever you are kind of a dish, whatever they dish out to you is what you have to take. You can complain, you can cry now and then. If you dare come out to speak, you will be called, you'll be charged, you'll be arrested and charged for treason. Anyone that opposes them, whether you are a member of a political party or a political party as an opposition, you will be charged for trying to overthrow government. If you criticize them, you will be charged for treason. If you come out to protest against any of their policy, you will be arrested and charged for treason. Treasonable felony, which carries death sentence. Then we'll kind of make a lot of you to just zip up. And they can do whatever they like. Even if your country is entering into a total precipitation. I tell you that what I mean is like everybody good day a state of disma, pisma. Don't ask me for the meaning. It simply shall mean as you are on your own. That one that you say you have a human rights activist, you have this one active. They know they exist in a dystopian country or society they have created. What we say to you, take it. If you don't take it, then you are considered enemy of the country. If you criticize the president, you will be considered enemy of the country. This is North Korea 2.0. And this is how it works. Nobody will challenge them. If they conduct election, rig the election, you cannot challenge it. If you challenge it, you will be considered enemy of the states. That is where they are taking you. That is where Tinubu and his gang are taking you. In case if you don't know yet. So some of you that are still feeling a little bit deluded, because I call it a delusion, deluded to think that this is our country. We have every right to. You don't. You don't. That these guys destroyed Nigeria. And those who are destroying the country, they cannot be criminally challenged, criminally charged, as long as they belong to the ruling party. You can't be criminally charged. It is either this way or no way, is what they have for you. I have a video of, what happened in Ondo State. It's still about APC too. They said they're having a PDP or something, PDP meeting. And then some guys came and said they were supposed to be APC. Remember, they're having their own governorship election like they had in Ondo State. Yeah, they're having Ondo State a governorship election soon. And as it stands, it must be APC. Whether they have failed the people there or not, it doesn't matter. It must be APC, whether you like it or not.
APC ni wọ́n kì í ṣe PDP kò possible because wọ́n lè ṣe anything ní báyìí wọ́n lè ṣe anything àwọn PDP lọ kọ́wọ́ pa wá lè ṣe ẹ̀rí bá na APC lọ́wọ́ wá bí ẹ̀wà gọ́vnà wa lẹ́nu yìí ẹ̀yin òwà gọ́vnà wa lẹ́nu yìí ẹ̀wà gọ́vnà wa ẹ̀yin òwà gọ́vnà wa ó di ọ̀run la fẹ́ ẹ̀wà gọ́vnà wa agbọ̀nla lẹ fẹ́ àbí ẹ̀yin PDP ẹ̀yin kẹ̀ ẹ̀yin bágo APC làwa ṣe APC làwa àwọn òṣàgbọ́nlá ẹ̀fẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ a lè sálọ fún yín APC làwa ṣe ó dìrọ̀rùn làwa kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ mo lè bẹ́ ọ̀rùn yín ẹ ti ya wèrè kí ló jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ̀yin báwo APC làwa àwọn ò lè ṣàbọ̀lọ̀ pàtí yín. Orí bánà APC wà lọ́n ta bánà PDP síbo nìyẹn síbo APC ní gbogbo wa ń ṣe ń bí ẹ wà lọ́n ta bánà PDP kí ló jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ níbo ẹ ṣe mí torí burúkú.
kò yẹ kó wọ́n ṣe nǹkan bí oúnjẹ bí iṣẹ́
bàbá yìí fà kí ẹ ṣe akọyin náà lójú
Then 15 minutes after the prayer, we are on board by one of our leaders, Mustafa. But we just are going to discover that our voice don't come. Wala ti be ayi da ti wa do na wa o. Wọ́n bẹ̀ sí Kogo, wọ́n bẹ̀ sí Duku, wọ́n bẹ̀ sí Yosemite attack. Punch your members, PDP members. Bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn member wa PDP members, wọ́n bẹ̀ sí attack wọ́n gbó nígbò wo ẹ̀jẹ̀ ní nílẹ̀. Look at it. Ṣé báyìí many people àwọn kan ti lọ sí state. Àwọn kan lọ sí state. Àwọn kan ti lọ sí state. Láti pé kọ́ lọ sí dáadáa ara wọn. So nǹkan tá à ń tẹ̀ láti sọ báyìí ni pé afẹ́kí gbogbo èèyàn kó gbọ́ kínní torí kì í ṣe àwọn nìkan ló wà nígboro ọmọ ìlú yìí ni wá then anybody kan ò lè lé wa nílùú yìí àdèmà àwọn náà we are trying to make sure that we face them squarely anytime any day.
ọ̀rọ̀ yín wá bí iṣẹ́ tá gbọ́ láti ká wá ṣe bí nìyẹn iṣẹ́ tá gbọ́ láti ká wá ṣe nìyẹn iṣẹ́ tá gbọ́ láti ká wá ṣe nìyẹn APC ni wọ́n wò kí ṣe PDP kò pọ̀ sí nǹkan wọ́n lè ṣe anything nígbà yìí wọ́n lè ṣe anything.
See, people still do APC despite the shege that they are facing. By the way, that's Ondo State. So what happened at that meeting was that they used to be APC, but these guys now changed that they don't want to be APC anymore. Now they want to be PDP. So they are having their meetings as usual, and they put up the banner of PDP there for another person who is likely going to be the PDP candidate, governorship candidate in their upcoming election. So some of these thugs, the guy that is making the video and screaming was that, how dare you turn this place to PDP? We're supposed to be APC. We are not PDP here. And they started breaking bottles and, you know what I mean, attacking them. One of them said that it was openly threatened for leaving the same APC. So it's more or less like a court. If you leave the APC now, you are likely just signed your own death warrant. If you are part of them, or you join any sort of their elections, and the election is against APC, it's probably going to be a death warrant. It is what it has become now. You stay with us, we know they go anywhere. With this shege, all of us go again. You know what I mean? Listen to this one.
The Shehu Agba of Ondo State, láti ọ̀rẹ́ Òdìgbò, wọ́n máa kí wa. Orin tí mo fẹ́ kọ ẹ bá mi gbé, wọ́n ní national item tèmi. Alhaji Shehu Agba o, ìjọba lọ, ọ̀lọ́. Ìjọba lọ, ọ̀lọ́. Kí alága wa pátápátá fún gbogbo Ondo State ọ̀gá wa Bakita Bello ó kí yín ó sì kí gbogbo àwọn àgbààgbà ẹgbẹ́ PDP pàápàá tí wọ́n wà nílùú yìí àti àwọn agbègbè yìí akínyìn pé ẹkú lé o mo wá kí ọ̀gá wa tí wọ́n jẹ́ incoming governor wa by the grace of God ní on the 16th November tí a máa tẹ̀sójú ẹ̀ fún PDP. Fún Agboola Ajayi mo kí wọn púpọ̀ bí Ọlọ́run á gbé wọn débẹ̀ mo kí ẹ̀yin olóríire tí ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa torí pé èmi tí ẹ ń wò yìí APC ni mí tẹ́lẹ̀ àmọ́gbà tí mo rí pé ẹgbẹ́ yẹn ẹgbẹ́ ìmùlẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ òkùnkùn ẹgbẹ́ ògbóni ẹgbẹ́ elébi ẹgbẹ́ apàyànlẹ́kọ́ ẹgbẹ́ abadúkìá jẹ́ mo ní láti kú ọ̀nbẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí Islamic leader àti Islamic cleric nígbà tí mo kú ọ̀nbẹ̀ ṣíṣe ló ń dùn wọ́n. Ẹ̀mẹ́fà ni gómìnà ránṣẹ́ sí mi mo lọ dá lánàá ẹ máa rí mi àti gómìnà lánàá wọ́n dẹ̀ bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ gómìnà bẹ̀ mí ẹ̀jìnlẹ̀ adé tì mí ẹ̀yìn wọ́n bẹ̀ mí gbogbo wọn ṣe bẹ̀ mí tó mo sọ fún wọn pé ètí mo ṣe lẹ́pìsì ti tó mo lọ PDP amákẹ́tọ́ jọ mí lójújù the governor of Ondo State ó ṣe mí lálejò pẹ̀lú token amount how much is token amount that is 3 million bẹ̀tì lónìí torí pé mo sọ pé mi ìṣẹ́gbẹ́ mọ́ wọ́n ní kan wálé mi kan wá gbowó náà máa sẹ́ndì owó yẹn padà fún wa. Alhaji Shehu Agba o ìbí ọba lọ. Alhaji Shehu Agba o ìbí ọba lọ.
So what the guy was saying is that yesterday he met with the state governor, and the state governor was pleading